Okay, people, so No Choice. This is the new film from Nate Hilgartner. Nate also wrote the film as well as directing, right? So it is also produced by Shannon Semler, Kathleen O'Neill, and Nate Hilgartner. It is produced and executive produced by Steve Hilgartner. Jonas Tarm took care of the music, with Alexander Podalanduch handling cinematography. Right, Daniel James edits the piece, with Maria Prudent taking care of casting. Production design, we have Shannon Semler and Declan Ferron. Kathleen O'Neill is production management. Our cast, right? So playing Amy, we have Hannah Deale. Her mother, Deborah, is played by Jennifer Herzog. Her friend, Lucas, is played by Robert Denzel Edwards. Her boss, Randy, is played by Adam Ratcliffe. Her hookup, Seth, is played by Hayden Frank. Right? Dr. McAnnis is played by Maria Prudent. We've got Jenny Pike, the pharmacist, and her mum's dealer, played by R.J. Levine. Social media doctor, played by C. Vivian Lorenzo. Willie is played by Nate Hilgartner, right? Nate gets in on the action in front of the camera too. The sociology professor is played by Steve Hilgartner. The OBGYN doctor is played by Andy Horwitz. The admissions officer, played by Kathleen O'Neill. Lifestyle influencer, played by Fanny Maskaraski. Yeah, that's basically it, really. The gist of the film. Okie dokie, what is it all about? A young woman becomes unexpectedly pregnant and starts having harrowing prophetic dreams that she will die if she can't get an abortion. So yeah, that's it. Now, I don't know if the unexpectedly pregnant is is the thing, really. Because, I mean, she has sex and they know the condom breaks. So the rest of it is kind of like pregnancy was a big, option to the circumstances, really. This, I mean, I gotta say, props to Chick Art for hooking this up. Sonia, put this all together, right? And watching this film is an interesting one, right? Because and on the website it says it, right? It's part drama thriller with horror leanings and part political, like activision. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying. Because, yeah, there are places where abortions are still illegal, which is, I mean, there's so much on this, right? There's people that agree with that. There's people that don't agree with that. I just feel choices should be there. You know what I mean? Like, we can't dictate to other people what they do with their bodies, because essentially you're not the one that has to deal with the consequences of something, right? And, when you think about it, if there are, kids brought into the world and no one wants them, what does that mean, right? You've got a load of kids now that aren't wanted, don't feel wanted. It's a terrible start to life, and that could lead them down the wrong tracks, which then causes other issues, and you it's just this whole thing, right? But if you're born in a place where there is not the option of abortion, it can lead to issues, right? And issues that the film raises. So it is, I think it's always a good thing to highlight these things, right? To show people what situations actually look like, right? Because you can have an idea. You can think, oh, well, it won't be that bad, but surely, this is a thing or this is a thing, you know what I mean? But, it's not until someone actually sees the reality that they're like, oh, damn, I did not understand what this was, And, the film starts off, right? We got Amy just dealing with life, right? Having fun at work with her friend Randy. They're working in a garage, right? So it's not necessarily that serious for them, but then Randy, he built this business up, so it means a lot to him, right? So you've got that kind of clash. But then you've got, Amy also dealing with her mum, who is addicted to, I think it's like pain medication. And so it's what that does, right? And the flips in personality and just everything. So we have all of these different things going on. And then, right, she has she meets up with a guy, has a nice evening, but the condom breaks. So it's just, we then see how that adds to everything else going on in Amy's life. And we get these kind of delusions, these kind of shifts, when she's dreaming, these kind of weird prophetic visions that she's having about the issues of childbirth. And that's even before she finds something out, right? So we have all of this going on, and as I say, the kind of dreams, weird things. So they're obviously, some of these are just freaky and weird, right? There's a bit where she's got no head, and we just see like these weird just all of these different things that she sees. And it's how that's then affecting her and causing her mad anxiety, all of that kind of thing, which I think was, that wasn't bad at all, There were things, right? As I say, it's interesting to see a film like this, to see what the possible fallout of something could be. But also, it's how is that story told, And in this one, it's not done badly. There are times when you feel that certain things could be, I think they could be added to, right? It's like when the whole situation with Seth happens, right? And the condom breaks. there is that, because it seems that there's a worry, right? Oh, fuck, the condom broke. But then it's like, oh, well, right? And I think in that instance, because it's not like no one knows about the morning after pill or just anything like this. And you do kind of feel if the condom breaks, surely go get the pill, right? Straight away. So just that discussion, I feel, would have been an interesting component to add. Because look, you can add it and then have, Seth be like, no, you don't need it, or we can't go today, or something, but just whatever it is to throw that there, because I feel because it does come up, but a long time after the fact, and you just think surely that's something that's on your mind straight away, right? So there's just certain things that I think could have like added. It's like her friendship with Randy, like we have that storyline, but it kind of disappears. Now, there's something in the film which kind of go, okay. But, yeah, I just think that's something that could have been, looked at a little bit more. Right? So there's certain things. Now, we get some interesting imagery. Like, there's a bit when her mum is essentially breastfeeding from not Amy, from oh Jesus Christ, what's the woman's name again? Jenny. And I thought that was an interesting like vision to have, because when you actually look at things, essentially you could say that's what that is, right? Because a drug dealer, right, their relationship with the addicts, right, the addicts are essentially at the teat of the dealer, you know what I mean? So I wondered if that's what that was, but I thought that was a very interesting piece of imagery, along with like Amy chained to the bed and just different things like that. These different kind of things that kind of show the situation that she's in. I thought I enjoyed. I mean, it's an interesting way to show something. And I thought that it works, right? Those elements worked well. They did. And the ending is a little bit ambiguous because I wasn't quite sure if it was a vision or if it was in the real world. Because it kind of could have been both. But either way, it does kind of speak to the reality of what may happen once everything is said and done. So it's a good way to end things, Oh, we have that. This is the first feature from Nate. And I think that definitely we have these elements in the film that work very well and show what Nate can do. There's other bits that don't quite have the same impact, right? But for a first film, right, a first feature, I think it's not a bad start to things. Not a bad start to things at all. I don't know if we needed all of the music, right? The musical beds behind scenes and that kind of thing. Because, I think the scene can speak for itself. And although it's not essentially mood music, it just sometimes felt like, sometimes it was a little bit loud, right? And then you just think, I just think just the sitting in this scene is probably more powerful and impactful than, having the scene with the musical bed. But I did think Hannah did a good job with Amy, showing the way everything, like the whole of her situation is compounding upon her. So I thought that was, she did a very good job with that. And again, it's something that does kind of show this situation. So it's useful. It's a useful film. It's not a perfect film, but it's something that's worth a watch. Worth a watch if you're kind of interested by this whole, childbirth, abortion, discussion. Okay? So I think the film is still on its festival run, right? It just was at Dances with Films, won awards, right? So it is, being received well in the, in the world, in the festival circuit. So yes, No Choice. It's doing its thing. I will put up any future dates. So if it sounds like it's something you would like to watch, yeah, we'll have whatever information we can find, right? So you'll be able to see if it's playing somewhere near you. No Choice.